And then talking about corporate logos more specifically, here we have the compass turning up covertly or as a designer in the symbol of the car Acura. In fact, the word Acura comes from Mercury, Macura. Cars are often named after gods, like for speed. So Mercury was the winged god, you see, the winged feet. So Acura is a shortened version used in ancient times for Mercury, actually. And the compass just shows who is in control of that company or Masonic. The Malta cross, in hoc signo victe, which is in this sign I shall conquer, with the crown and the cross, is a very famous Masonic symbol. Here it's the Knights of Columbus, also use the Malta cross. Very famous symbol. Where do we find it? We also find it on the Nazis, who were nothing more than a front for Masonic lodges and for the Illuminati, using the eagle from Egypt, the skull and bones, and the oak leaves of the Druids. You see, these are all occult symbols. In America, you have the cavalry using the two acorns on their hats, and you'll always see oak leaves on the French generals, on the Soviet generals. You will see the oak leaves. How come they're all enemies and yet they all use the same symbolism? Because they're only enemies in front of us. Behind the scenes, they're very much part of the same group. And the Knight of Malta cross is found then on the gas station Arco. Oh, one thing I teach the children also when it comes to symbolism is be very wary. You know, when you're in the early stages, it's a little bit hard to get a grip on this. So one of the rules of thumb is if you see a word that generally doesn't mean anything in English, pay a special attention to it, because 90% of the logos in front of us and product logos don't mean anything in English, but they do in Latin, Greek, Hebrew, Egyptian, or one of the great magical languages. Arco is a case in point. All you need to add to that letter, or that word, is the letter N at the end, and it will make the word Archon, and Archon means the fallen angels. The word Arco means the fallen ones, or the fallen angels, or the keepers of light. Exon has the Knights of Malta, a cross. That double X there is actually a Masonic symbol, as a man on the right, a knight. It's called the Cross of Lorraine, the double cross, the Cross of Lorraine. Here we have the five-pointed hexagram again, or the five-pointed star with the crescent moon. Here are various symbols again from Freemasonry, as the dove. The dove is very important. You find it on heraldry and here on royal standards with the Knights of Malta cross on the left and the dove. And the Spanish word for dove is Columban or Columbanus. So when you have the District of Columbia, Columbia Pictures, British Columbia, you see, or Columbine High School, for instance, there's something being told to us. It has to do with the dove and a secret society connected to the symbol of the dove. The black horse, which people often see, and if you watch media a lot, if you watch television, you'll see the symbol of the black horse being used in sitcoms and in all sorts of dramas. You'll see a bookend, or a very common symbol. You find it on cars. You find it on the Lloyd's Stock Exchange in England. You find it on Wellcome, the pharmaceutical giant. You find it, the symbol of the black horse on Maserati, or is it Ferrari, for instance. And many, many corporations have the symbol of the black horse. It is another symbol for a secret society coming out of Italy, the Illuminati and so on. And what they're doing is they're playing on a symbol. The word in Latin for horse is caballus. So the word Kabbalah, you see, is the pun. It's a pun intended to be the Kabbalists. Kabbalah is a tenet of secret societies. Then we have a phenomenon called the double-headed eagle, which when it was first used represented the Roman Empire and the Roman Emperor religion of Constantine, the Catholic religion on one hand, and then the empire on the other. These are the two world powers coming together. Today you can say it means other things, you know, left versus right, or east versus west, and so on. But it is a symbol used by Freemasonry, the double-headed eagle. And the eagle, again, as I said, is found all over the America as a symbol. Here is the CIA. And then we have it in the moon, when the euphemism was that the eagle had landed. That is occult phraseology, by the way. That is occult terminology, having to do with the money that brought this project into existence. Is money coming out of Europe, actually, and connecting to the Roman dynasties. And in fact, did you know that the Vatican actually own all the observatories and solar telescopes in the world? Every piece of intelligence that comes from any observatory passes Vatican intelligence before it reaches the public. So there's a reason why they said that the eagle has landed. It has to do with symbolism, not of the Catholic Church as we know it, but of the principles behind it. We actually find at the moon landing itself, something very curious happened that is not known. It says here from this book that what is not widely known is that alongside the national flag, Buzz Aldrin also carried a Masonic banner. This had been embroidered especially for this strange journey by the librarian of the Masonic House of the Temple in Washington, D.C. So before we all know the commemoration and the ceremony of the American flag, right? But what we don't know that a very long and elaborate ceremony was held before the cameras were even rolling to signify the Masonic presence on the moon. So we have to realize that there's something going on behind the veil of national security and behind the veil of government. And the symbol of the eagle, as I said, not only comes from Rome, but goes before that back to the solar cults into Egypt. And in politics we hear this phrase used a lot, the left wing and the right wing. Well, I asked a question that if you're left wing here and you're left wing there, then you must be left and right wing of something. What are we? You must have something in the middle. Well, what is in the middle is the pyramid or the sun, because left wing and right wing is a term going back many thousands of years having to do with the wings of the god Horus and of the pharaoh. It's an Egyptian terminology. Your left wing and right wing of a central sun. And the double keys are zodiological. The Christian church used the symbol of the keys, but this actually has to do with the signs of Cancer and Capricorn, which face each other and are considered the gates of the zodiac, or the gates of the sun. Now that 13th sign we spoke about is of great interest for another reason, and that is that the galactic center, which is positioned near the 13th sign, that is called in arcane lore the black sun. It's referred to actually as the black sun. Sometimes Saturn, but mainly this other phenomenon called the black sun. And that symbol at the top right is actually the symbol of the Smithsonian Institute. Why would they be using a black sun? Then the black sun, did you know that the Nazi swastika there actually was also known as the black sun? That's what it symbolizes. The swastika, people mistake it as being a symbol of the sun. I mean, it might pass for that, but actually its occult roots go back to galactic center, that around which everything spirals.
I do know that the elite of the SS and the Nazi Party, the intelligent ones,
yes,
the scientists belong to something called the Black Sun Society.
That's absolutely right.
Within the SS, and that's where they supposedly developed anti-gravity devices under the Vril Corporation.
Oh yes, this money has been in existence from the first centuries AD. We see it as the pantomime show of different groups, but believe me, the Thule Society and the group that you spoke of and the Knights of the Order of the Temple is very important to find out what the symbolism relates to, and it has to do with astrology. In fact, the Nazi journal was called Zenith. One of their publications, which was featured astrology a lot, was actually called Zenith or Zenith.
Zenith.
Yeah.
The highest.
The highest. The black sun is seen here in England at a government building. Above the head of this government building, Bracken House, you see not only a zodiac, but again a black sun. People mistake that as the symbol of the sun. It is not the symbol of the sun, it is the symbol of galactic center, a completely different archetype altogether. Then is one of the most important symbols of Freemasonry, and you see this on product logos and on charitable institutions all over the place, is the rose, the symbol of the red rose. That's used an awful lot, coming out of Tudor England, because the Masonic orders of the world, the secret societies, got enormous patronage at the time of the Elizabethan age. And in fact, some people reverse that and say, no, the Elizabethan age, the Tudor dynasty, was actually funded by these secret societies, so you can take your pick. But many of your even American parties, they use the symbol of the elephant, I believe, for one of them. And the ass is used, the donkey, the symbol.
Donkey.
These are astrological, yeah. These are astrological symbols. The elephant goes back to the Brahmins of India. People have not discovered the connection between the Brahmins of India and we even refer to the rich people in this country as Brahmins. And well, the elephant is a symbol going back to India and to the Brahmin caste. Here's a symbol of the owl, which was originally sacred to the goddess Minerva, and before her to Lilith, an ancient occult symbol of wisdom being used by a super secret order here that all your presidents belong to, called the Bohemian Club. And this is and of course you had owl pharmacies not so far back.